What's up guys, I'm PawsBuild and welcome back to our Ethical Zoo franchise mode series in Planet Zoo. In the previous video we made a huge guest area in the Europe section of our zoo, and in this video we're going to expand the Europe section by introducing the European badgers. It seems like our food vans are somewhat of a success and our market stalls as well. We just need a few more vendors. It seems like everyone is on their break. I'm going to have a look at our staff panel and see what they're doing with this. So if we go to our vendors, everyone on Europe, yeah, there's not that many with a high workload though. Everyone seems okay. There's some that are really, poorly trained up, but they're just going to get better at their job anyway. So I don't think we need more people. It's just an unfortunate time. It's like most of these food trucks are empty at the minute. Oh, there we go. They're filling out now. They're coming back to work. All right, well, we'll see how they go. That should be fine. You guys also pointed out that one of the solar panels, as this one, is going to stay permanently broken until we actually reconnect the path to the main path. So now it can be fixed. Our mechanic could actually go and we'll stop getting this alert. And it looks like we've also got a challenge. Yes, we've bred 2 new exhibit animals of different species. We bred 4 of them, so we've definitely smashed that one. And hopefully we'll release a bird's taper into the wild soon as well, because we do have a baby, so we can get another one. And what's this one? Get a zoo inspection report with an overall rating of 5 stars. That is hard, but we could be doing it. I think it's the animal rating and the guest education rating that they take into account. So we're doing a pretty good job. The one thing we could work on in our zoo is actually our guest happiness. So perhaps we should do a little bit of that this episode as well. We've got power source failed. This one, we know why. This one has also failed, but I think it's just a bit further out than anything else. That's probably why. They could do with an easier route across here, but they're not going to get one, I don't think. It's not that far from the staff room, though, to get up here and round. So hopefully they'll eventually sort that out. And I believe we have a few extra capybara in here that have grown up as well, which is great. I'm going to release the young adults into the wild. Quite a number in here. Yeah, and then they're the adults. Okay, so let's release these to the wild. That's 6, 149 credits. Is that all of them? No, missed a couple. Right, there we go. Release these other 2 as well. That's another 40 credits. Perfect. Oh, and another one. I keep missing them. So there's 2 more. There we go. So 10 capybara released to the wild. That's a number of credits we just got. And their population size should be fixed now as well. Look at the little babies running around with their parents. I find it so cute. Oh no, Rocky's died. Our emu. Let's call the vet. I think this was our main breeding male. I don't know if we have another male in here, actually. Let's have a look at the habitat. Oh, we do. Okay, but are they related? Because they're a young adult. I think they might be related to some of the others, actually. Yeah, they can't breed with Estella. Although they are only related to Estella, so we could just... Because they're quite good. Let's just set Estella to be on contraceptives, and then they won't breed. And now we've got a new male in here already that we've bred ourselves. So I think that's pretty good. And we've also got overcrowding in the cheetah habitat because I think the babies have grown up. And we've got a couple that are elderly and infertile. Right, so our new males are elderly and infertile. I'm assuming our young male, if I pause the game, is related to the female though. Yeah, the cheetah, right. So we're just going to have to stop the breeding for now. I'm going to release the 2 young ones into the wild. So we've done a good bit of conservation there. We'll release these 2. It's a male and a female. Wow, that's a lot of credits. And then now they're gone. We've got 1 female who could still breed, but we've got 2 infertile males just because they're getting old. So we can see how they go. I think if any of them pass away, we might replace them with a younger male who can still breed. But for now, they're just enjoying their lives, aren't they? Look at him. He's just having a little snooze. He's an old man. He's done his part. He's had kids. He's done his part for the zoo. Okay, so one thing I wanted to change. I like how we have our food court here, but I do feel like this whole area should have a bit more decoration to it, and we are sorely missing out on benches for our guests. Oh, we've got the swans. What's wrong with you, though? You seem fine. I think maybe they hadn't been fed, but they have been fed, so it's all good. Okay, got a lot of alerts, just 'cause we've got so many animals, but everyone is actually okay. Perfect. Let's improve this area. I think we need to add in some more benching, get a little benched area with some umbrellas maybe, and then also decorate this up so it doesn't look as plain as it does now. Yeah, we've got protesters for a number of them in this habitat, so I'm going to call the keeper. But essentially we just need them to be fed. Let's have a look at our keepers because we don't want them to be to not be fed on time. It says that they've got an efficient workload. I think they're okay. It might just be a very unlikely situation that they've not been fed on time, but I'm sure that will resolve itself. I'm going to pause the game and add in a little bit of decoration to make it a bit more special. I feel like that's quite a lot better. And look at our cute little market. Look at that. Oh, I think it's turned out really nicely. I do wonder whether we should have a different coloured floor under here, but it makes sense that it would be short grass, like you'd mow this down. It just looks a little bit empty almost. And I wonder whether we should have some like full flooring, but no, I might leave it as it is. I think it's still okay. I just don't want it to look too empty, but you know, it wouldn't be a completely full thing. It's a market. It's not, you know, it's not a full shop. They just set up their stalls, so there would be a reasonable amount of empty space and how we have it set up here, unless we had it completely packed in, but then it would look a bit it would be a bit too many shops in one place for the game, so I don't think we'll do that. We'll leave it as it is, and it's quite a cute market there. I think that this is quite a lot nicer too now. We've got the tree like overhanging onto the cars. I figured that these vehicles, well, I'm just going to swivel this round a little bit so it's not impaling any of our vehicles. There we go, that's a bit better. But I figured these trucks are just going to stay here anyway, aren't they? It's not like they're going to drive off. So we own the trucks and they're permanently parked here. So I've made the grass a bit longer. I put some trees in around them. You know, they're somewhat set in there. And now we've made some nice improvements to this area. I think it's about time we got the animal for this video. And today's animal is going to be the European badger. Look how cute they are. So these are adorable and a menace. But we're going to have some in our zoo. They live in groups of 6 males and 6 females. So it's 1 to 7, but you can have 6 of either. So that's interesting. It can be, yeah, they don't mind about male or female. And the males have a hierarchy based on age and size. So ideally, we'll have one male that's bigger and older than the others, and then we won't have any fighting for dominance. That would be what we should go for. Or we just have one male and 6 females. And how long do they live? That's the other thing I need to look at. They live to 17. Wow, okay. And they can breed from 2 years until death. So that's good to know. They're shy around humans as well, so we need to be careful about giving them enough space to hide. We want to make sure we do that. Okay, let's have another look around animal trading. We've got one female here. Let's sort them by appeal, actually. That's the first thing to do. Yeah, it's still this female. Let's get her. I know she's got immunity 0%, but other than that, she is pretty good genetically. So let's get this one. We'll get this female. We'll get this female. And this one. And this one. Right, that's 4 females. Now we can get our males. This one is only 2, so we want to make sure... Let's refresh our list. This male is 33% size and he's 4.9. Ah, see, this is where we're going to have an issue. Whereas this one is 50 and 4.6. So we could get... Ah, here we go. I think these 3 males, the best 3, might be okay. Because the oldest one is 75% size. We could even not get the other one the same age. And just have this be our oldest male. Let's get this one. We're going to get Metin, because he's 4.9 and he's 75% size. So he should be the dominant male. And then we can get this one, because he's 50% size and 4.6. Hopefully that's enough that he's not going to challenge him. And then we could get this other male. Or let's refresh and see if any others come up. We can also get one of these young males. It's just that they're pretty big. They're on very good genetics. Or let's get these as we have them. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 badgers. And they can live in a group size of 7. So let's send them to our quarantine. And they'll be moved from the animal trade center here into quarantine. So we can just check up if they have any injuries or diseases before we put them into our zoo. And now let's build a little habitat for these guys. I believe their requirements are quite low in that they're very short. So let's say we've got a full thing of 7 and they've got 7 babies or something. They still need less than 1,000 meters squared. Yeah, and they only need a 1 meter fence. So grade 2, 1 meter. That's interesting. Right, I'm going to pause the game. And we're going to build out probably using this whole area here. We can build out a nice sized badger habitat with 1 meter fencing, which is really low. And it means we can use my favorite habitat gate, which are these little ones here. So let's get this small metal habitat gate. And we can put this in here so our keepers can easily access it. It makes sense to put it on the end as well, because this is where our staff path is over here. So it's a little bit of a staff zone around here. And then we can put in some null barriers and then fill it in after with our construction pieces. Okay, this habitat is 5,000 meters squared, so it's 5 times as big as they need it to be. This is definitely a good size for them. Let's just turn all of this into null barrier. And then let's put our construction pieces in. And I've kept these to be multiples of 4 for the length of the barriers the whole time. It's either been 20 or 12 or 4 because the construction pieces are 4 meters wide. So it's the only thing I've been mindful of when I was building this out. Okay, so our habitat is ready for our badgers now, so we just need them to pass quarantine and we can move them over. It looks like that solar panel needs assistance, so I'm going to request the mechanic that's walking away from it, and hopefully they can go sort it out. We are going to want some better visibility around here, so we're going to make another path that comes off next to this solar panel. There we go. We've got a bit of a square here. This looks like it could easily be another habitat as well. Our badgers are passing quarantine. That's very good. And I think where we've got this area here where there's not going to be anything now, we can just make sure this is all long grass in here. Because I think we messed up this terrain slightly when we were building these areas. Now we're also going to want some display boards. And seeing as these are very low, we are going to want to think about having them on stands. Because I don't think they'll fit on the wall. No, they won't. Look, we're going to have them. We can have them on the legs that come out of the wall. That might look a bit better. Let's do that. So we'll have them sitting just atop the wall like that. That looks better. Let's have one here, and then we'll just continue these. Have a few of them on each side so we can teach our guests about our badgers when they're in here. There we go, that looks good. Now, this isn't all going to be covered in power, I'm sure. Yeah, we've got a few issues there, but that's okay. I think this solar panel is only here so it can treat the water pump, but the water pump doesn't need to be all the way back there. We can move both of these slightly further down, so they're a little bit closer, and I mean that the solar panel can also catch this area too. Okay, everything is linked up, and now all of these are within the power radius. We just need to put another solar panel up here, which we can very easily do just by duplicating this one we've made. And ideally we'll put it as far into this corner as we can, but this will also be fine, I'm sure. I've just moved this slightly closer as well because I feel like it doesn't need to be super far away. It makes it a bit easier to maintain, and the negative impact is still not touching anywhere that the guests can go. So I think it's absolutely fine. And they've just arrived, but crucially we've got an alert because we need to put this whole habitat into our Europe work zone. So let's edit this work zone and then add all of this in and this new solar panel. So everything over here should be in the Europe work zone, which I believe it is now, which is perfect. And our keepers will automatically use this, and our vets and everyone. Look at them! Oh my goodness! They're running away. Look at their little faces. They're adorable, aren't they? Very cute animals. They're very mischievous though, and they are nocturnal, I believe. So let's set all of our education to be on the European badgers, and then we should probably put in some more education, like the speakers or something like that, just to really improve our education score. But look, it's drawing people over already. That's definitely a good sign. Okay, I think that's a good amount of education for now. Now let's have a look at their needs. There's too much long grass here, but they're happy with short grass, so we can probably do quite an easy job of just thinning out this grass for the whole area. And yeah, they're quite happy. That's quite easy. It shows that they can quite happily live in this environment as well, because we barely had to change the grass. We just need to cut some of it, and they're happy. They are going to need some hard shelter, and I believe these guys also burrow. So let's go into our habitat tab and filter by the species. We want the European badgers. There they are. And they do have an animal burrow. So let's put a couple of animal burrows in, and we'll probably hide them a little bit in the habitat. Put one over here and one over there, and then we can always put in some shelters if they just want to sit in the sun, give them a bit of shade. Okay, that should meet their hard shelter requirements. It does. And now they just need their enrichment and nature. So let's have a look again at our enrichment. We're filtered by them. Let's go into our enrichment items. We've already got a number of them. Let's put a few of these in, and then they're going to need some food and water. I've just whacked a few enrichment items in there for them. Let's put in a food tray. Or what do they use for food? A food bowl they use. Okay, let's put a large food bowl in. I'm cautious as to how close we put them to the guests. I think I'm going to put it here, because we want our guests to be able to see them, but we don't want it to be too close. And let's put another one up here. And then we're going to put in some signs to tell our guests to be quiet, because these guys are shy. We don't want everyone being really loud. And it's under security here. Let's have a do not disturb sign. Tell our guests, remind them, we're gently reminding them to please be quiet. Where is this one? Security and crime, do not disturb signs, and we can see the effective radius of them. Right, let's put one in here. Turn off random rotation. And then this should keep our guests a little quieter, which will be very helpful for these guys. We don't want them scaring them. We are also going to need some donations. So crucially, for our zoo, we need to make sure we get some money in from these guys. So let's put in a few donation bins where the guests are clumping up. And that gives them the opportunity to donate and earn us some money. There's already no power on this one. Oh, it's because this one's being fixed. Let's set the maintenance for these to be every 3 months instead of every year, so this doesn't happen. And I think they should be happy with their enrichment. Yes, they're happy with all of these items. What's wrong with the social? Oh, stress. Okay, that will help when we put in some more barriers so they can't be seen all the time by the guests. Let's do that in the nature tab. So let's have a look at what environment coverage they need. They want Europe, and we're going to go for the grassland plants because they'd realistically grow in the African savannah. Let's put a few of these in, and this should meet their plant requirements and also give them a fair amount of hiding space as well to reduce their stress. But I've also forgotten, we need to put in some water. So let's put that in before I put in the nature, and I forget. Let's add in a couple of small lakes, I think, like a couple of small ponds. Okay, I think that's probably good for these guys. They got 63% coverage, and that's a lot of hiding spots for them. So I think they should be good. They've got a couple of water areas that are very overgrown, but there's still definitely access for them. And we should have actually checked that they couldn't escape, but I wasn't particularly worried about that with these guys. No, they can't escape, and they can access all the water, which is absolutely perfect. They got a bit of stress, but hopefully that'll wear off as they run away from the edges and, you know, and find some cover that's a bit more private. Now these guys are in here, it's probably a good time to learn a little bit about the European badger. European badgers inhabit woodlands, shrublands, and even man-made parks and pastures throughout Europe. Its most distinct feature is its facial pattern, with two distinct black stripes extending from the neck over the ears and eyes and down to the snout across a white face. In some European countries, the badgers are attributed as the heralds of spring in folklore. They commonly occur in fables where they're described as reclusive and courageous, likely due to their shy and nocturnal behaviour. European badger hair is often used for shaving brushes and for making sporrans. The European badgers do, unfortunately, eat the very cute hedgehogs, which is one of the only species that are actually able to do so due to their tough paws and dexterous claws. European badgers were killed throughout the 1960s and 70s to prevent the spread of rabies, and in the United Kingdom, the culling of European badger populations led to a decrease of tuberculosis in cattle. European badgers do not eat or defecate in or near their set, which is where they live. Instead, they create latrine areas to keep their set clean. While European badgers were hunted for sport in the 1800s and population controls are still enforced in some countries, the species is not endangered and its numbers are increasing in most of its range. Okay, I know that we're very happy with our habitat and our zoo, but let's have a look at what our guests are thinking of everything. So a lot of them are thirsty. They clearly need to visit our food trucks, our food and drink trucks, but they're generally quite happy. It's great scenery, the ticket price is good. We could probably move the ticket price up. They need the loo. Oh, okay. Perhaps we should put toilets in at some point. And the litter is disgusting. Well, the litter shouldn't be a problem. Let's have a look. Negative impact on guests. There is a bit of litter. Oh yeah, none of these paths have bins, do they? Right, okay. Let's get some of the European bins and we'll put them along this path. I didn't think that they bring litter into the zoo with them. Like, fair enough if you bought something at our zoo and then, like, well, not even fair enough. You shouldn't be littering, but I can at least understand where it comes from. Because we're selling food and other things that actually have wrapping that they could throw away. But why are you bringing stuff into our zoo and throwing it on the floor the second you get here? It's a little bit rude. So I'm not as massive fan of that. Let's put some bins on the outside though around here too, just in case anyone decides to have a little walk around and thinks, oh, let's throw our stuff on the floor. This should help with the litter massively because we've given them bins and then our janitors can go around and clean it, or our caretakers. Can't remember what they're called. We've got fighting due to overcrowding and the emus. Ah, it's because they've all grown up. Wow, okay, they are definitely all grown up. Let's get these ready to go. We're going to leave that one in, weren't we? The young adult. Let's release their siblings though. So release these 3 emus. We get a decent amount of credits for that. And balance has been restored to their habitat. We've got some more of the red kangaroos as well that also need to be released. We've got 2 extra males we don't want, so let's release them into the wild before they cause too much fighting. And the wallabies, how are they doing? I think they're okay. Oh, there are a lot of them. What were their groups? What was the wallaby group size? That's something that we should know. Redneck wallaby. Oh, 29. Okay, that's fine. Or 30. So these are absolutely fine. I think that's actually all good for them. We can leave them as they are. And now we've got our badges in here. Please leave some name suggestions in the comments for what you want them to be called. And we can rename them very soon. We've got a disease. Okay, it's a cleanliness issue. Okay, it just needs more keepers assigned, I think. Needs more keepers taking care of it. So perhaps we do need more keepers on the work zone. We are running into slight income ongoing. We're fine. We're still making money, but it's not as much as we were before. But perhaps if we put our ticket prices up, we'll be covered with that. So let's make this 64 and 32. And that'll pull in quite a lot more money for us. And then we can get another keeper and assign them to the Europe work zone. And we should probably just train up all of our staff as well. Just so they're constantly going through training and improving, becoming more efficient, and helping our animals out as much as possible. I think the next job on the list is to improve our guest happiness, which will probably involve getting a new toilet and checking out what their other needs are. And I would like to set up some guest education talks at some point for the European animals. We don't have any talks going on, and we've got ample space to set up some stands and have something really cool. So we should probably focus on those activities next. But I'm thinking we'll probably get round to all of that in the next video. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.